Let's get the intro. We back. We back. We back. We back. Yeah. We back. We back. We back. We back. Y'all know what time it is. Hey, we back. We back. We back. We back. We back. We back again.
You know, I twerk every time you put that on. Every time that part come on, I be twerking. Got that shoulder action. That shoulder action in there.
Hey, what's up? What's up? It's I Can't Afford to Quit podcast. It's your boy Bren'Tel, and we have the illustrious, fancy, intuitive, Melani J in the building. What's up? How you doing?
What's up? What's good? What's good?
Oh, nothing much. So you made your move.
There was a lot of titles.
Yeah. You know, we got to sauce it up. How was the move?
Man, listen, it was long. It was a long drive all the way across country from one point to the next. So, you know, we made a quick pit stop. You know, went see how the parents and grandparents and everything was doing, but then hopped right back on the road. We made it to New York about 3 days ago, I think, maybe 3 or 4 days ago. But Brooklyn, stand up.
Hey.
We're in Brooklyn right now, and it's just another adventure. I have some events coming up this week. Columbus Short and Vivica Fox and a couple other cast members. They have a movie coming out called True to the Game on premieres on in the theaters on September 8th. So I'll be going to cover that event on Wednesday. I think they have the premiere celebration party on Wednesday, so I'll be in the building for that. And then there's a couple of other things coming up next week that I'll be doing for DJ Melody TV. I'll be working on his platform as well with a couple of characters from Power next week. So
dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Speaking of TV shows, we gotta talk about Insecure.
Man,
Let the people know the story behind this week.
Okay, I don't even know what part you want to talk about because, nigga, listen. The opening of the show, I'm just go ahead and put it out there. If you don't suck dick if you're not, willing to get the mask occasionally. I mean, because niggas slip up every once in a while. Like, if you're not willing to take the risk, like, don't even give oral sex at all. Because, it happens. It happens.
Like,
it happens.
The beginning of it, like, just how Molly was like, "Oh, we finna ride on that nigga." That shit had me weak. Like, damn. Like, I mean, I feel like I put it to you like this. Like, say if they would have wrote it as in Issa would have squirted in his face. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wouldn't have been like a big deal. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been a big deal at all. So
I don't think it's personally a big deal, but that's just, and that just kind of feeds into the whole black women don't give oral sex thing too.
Right.
Because it makes it seem like, oh, it was something disgusting or it was disrespectful or whatever. Right. And it's like, no, the nigga was just feeling it and just, it happened. Like, don't take the risk. If you're not willing to take a shot to the face, don't go down there because you never know. That's right. What I'm saying. You never know what might happen when you give oral sex to him. Especially, obviously it was feeling good to him. I'm sure he wasn't just like...
She had just left that class. She just left that dick sucking class.
Right. 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 she on expertise level. She done leveled up.
You can't hold it against it. But the phone call though, he fucked it up though. Like he fucked it up. Like dog, why would you say what you say? Like what he say? So we even now or some shit? That's what he said.
Yeah, he was just kind of like, I guess we kind of even now. And I mean, let's be honest, she did play him like
Yes.
before when she did sleep with him before and everything. And she was kind of dodging him throughout the party. Remember in season previous season when she first slept with them and stuff. And she told him to his face, like, you were just kind of an itch I needed to scratch. Like, you aren't nobody. Of course you hurt his feelings, so of course he's going to say, well, we even now, And I don't think he meant this to be like
disrespectful. I don't think.
Right. I don't think he was like being facetious about it or anything like that. He was just kind of like, right. I think honestly, because she's so stressed out about everything else
and she's insecure. And she's insecure.
Very. Very. She took it to the next level, and it was just like, I don't think he meant it like that. Because, he was kind of just joking about it. Like, oh, we're even now. And she was just like, oh, you disrespectful nigga. And I'm like, I don't think that he meant it like that.
You can't joke like that because she it sounds like she hadn't talked to him for a couple of days or something like that. You know what I mean? So you can't really joke. Well, because she obviously think it's a serious situation. You know what I mean? Like, she obviously think it's some serious shit.
Right, but I don't understand why she would be, because she said she was embarrassed. He embarrassed her and everything like that. But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What were we going to say? Okay, well, he embarrassed her, and I don't understand what was the embarrassment. Like, stuff like that happens during sex. Like, I don't understand why was she embarrassed because he did it.
Because she was insecure. She's mad insecure. That's why. That's it. All come back to being insecure. She insecure.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, well, aren't you sucking his dick? I mean, stuff like that happens.
I can't believe you came. What?
You're right. Oh my God, I can't believe you just. I'm like, well, what did you think the end result was going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you think, I don't know. I don't know. But, a nigga's not going to shoot powder from his dick. It's not going to be. I don't understand what did she think was going to happen. Like, bitch, you're already down there. Like, you're going at it. It's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen.
Oh, shit.
And, like, and just being a woman, because this is, something that only a woman, knows with sex and, even orally, whatever. I'm married. I can talk about it. We grown. Women, even, with my husband and stuff, you got to brace the shock. You got to be like, all right, it's coming, and kind of move back. Like, don't you know how to suck dick? Obviously, she's not a professional. A woman knows, like, okay, his toes is clenching up. Like, okay, maybe I need to, it's coming soon. I need to back up. I need to back up and brace for that shot, That's what you do as a woman. You put your tongue to the roof of your mouth and be like, all right, because I don't want to swallow shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you kind of move back like, all right, he got the sheet. Like, he missed me,
He missed me.
Right? You don't just sit there and take it to the face. Like, I feel like that was her fault. Bitch,
that was a rookie move. Rookie move.
Yep. Like that commercial. Got to be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker.
Oh my God. Let's see what else. What else? There's after that there was. Did they go to Lawrence or was it Molly?
It was Molly with her
the phone call
issue.
The phone call, yeah, because the phone call went back and forth, and it was it just me, or was it like they was kind of beefing on that phone call?
the phone call, I felt like you can't, I think they both agreed to disagree because you can't really take jabs at each other when both of y'all in the wrong.
Right.
You know, he's, in the wrong for being with that married man. And Issa's in the wrong for, being a hoe. Like being a hoe. Like, you can't be mad because you a hoe and you got treated like one. It is what it is. It is what it is.
She only want her rotation to be one-sided.
Right. You're, what can I say? You've been fucking around and sleeping with this one and that one. Eventually, you're going to catch some nuts to your eye. And that's what happened. And that's what happened.
That napkin. Put that napkin to your eye, girl.
For real. Not if you was for real, until you was going to catch it.
And then what? After that happened, dog, Principal Kanye West, man. Hit this episode, bro.
What?
The principal. Principal, his Kanye West looking ass.
You so stupid. The principal, I think he's all about,
Nah, that nigga racist. That nigga bad. He said, "Don't come to me with that all lives matter shit."
He's just trying to make sure that it seems like for once he kind of just wants the black people to get ahead, and he don't
like Mexicans, dog. He made that clear in episode 2. He really don't. Out there at the bus stop.
And there might be a backstory to why he doesn't as well.
True.
There might be something that happened or whatever or a reason why he doesn't.
So what you think gonna happen? What you think gonna happen? Well, see, this kind of messed up the storyline where I thought was gonna happen. Where what's the girl named Frida? Her coworker was gonna be like, look, she's known that this principal is, holding the kids out. Or she finds out on the bus riding next to one of the students because her car's messed up because she want to look at dick pics when she's driving. She's riding next to one of the students and she finds out that Principal Kanye West has been he's been telling all the Mexican kids that the program is full and they can't get any help because the kids like studying for SATs or something like that. Yeah,
right.
SATs.
Right.
And that's when Issa finds out that the principal has been telling them he's been blocking out all the Mexican kids.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's right. And I'm sure that they'll come up with some type of scheme or plot to make sure that that everyone is treated equally. And if not, they'll have to move on to a different school. I mean, it's as simple as that. Or they might get him in trouble on a higher level. That's just something that we'll have to see in the upcoming episodes.
Right. My dude laughed in her face. Like, what he say? Ain't nobody dead? Like, what?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Trash, dog.
Man, he don't care.
He don't give a fuck.
He don't care. He don't care about them kids. Not like that. And, Issa and her friends, which I guess they got back cool again.
Oh,
because,
Frida? Hey, Frida was mad. Frida was mad. Yeah. And she had every right to be, though, for real. Like, that these opportunities are...
Morally.
Morally. She was
right.
Frida was right. Frida was right in that situation. She was, she knew that the Kanye West principal, Kanye West's daddy, was racist towards the Mexican kids.
Right.
And Issa knew that, but she was so wrapped up in wanting their program and her branch of the program to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Because she's looking for a promotion, which that's selfish. You know what I mean? And she just sacrificing those other kids,
Speaking of promotion, did you see when Molly was trying to talk about these? They wasn't trying to hear that. They were like, yeah, next year, Blackie.
Yeah. Sorry, nigger lady. You're not going to get a raise.
I mean, it's a shame. It is a shame in America and stuff like that that
It's
she
true.
has all the credentials, very educated woman, and yet and still, it's like, we'll review you next year. I mean, she was spitting out everything that she had offered to the company, and they were just like, yeah, maybe next year.
That scene rang true though, because like the pay wage gap between black women and white women and white men, even black men, they're at the bottom of the gap. You know what I mean?
Really are.
That's factual. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because the most educated person in this country right now is the black woman.
It absolutely.
So,
but the only thing the only thing that white men and white powerful men like that want from a black woman is pussy. So next thing she need to do is pull her skirt up and act like she like one of them, and maybe she can get a promotion. Maybe if she act like she like them, then she'll get one.
I think Molly's gone though. I think she's gone. They just signed. They signed her away to Chicago. She's going to Chicago because she knows that she's not going to be able to get treated fairly at that job and get equity at that job. You know,
not the respect that she deserves.
Right. So.
At least in Chicago, there's more African Americans there that what is his name? The one that she's talking to. Right. They joke around a lot. I'm hoping she gives him a chance. He seems like he's decent.
Right.
I mean, he seems like he wants to take her out and get to know her more.
But I don't know if he gon'. Cause he's not on. I looked on IMDb because I be trying to like look ahead and shit. But he's not signed for more episodes. He just signed like a guest spot. So he's gonna be here and there. He's not gonna be a regular on the show because he's too busy. You know what I'm saying?
He really is.
So I don't know if that's gonna be the storyline. Like I don't think Easton knew. As far as that whole show and are they looking to sign him like that? But that's a good storyline. I think he gonna end up. You know what? Cause she broke it off with. I mean, we skipping around, but she did break it off with Dro. At the end of this episode, so she probably could call him, but I don't know.
I was disappointed with the whole party in general.
Bruh, like. Dog. Would you okay, when you say you was disappointed, were you looking for more drama or like
No, I was disappointed, like in the characters. Like I was mad because I'm like, damn, Lawrence, like you gonna bring why would you
he didn't know
that?
He said he didn't know that it was a sit down dinner. Like he said he didn't know it was that setting.
But yet and still, But he knew Ether was going to be there. Like, why would you even? I don't know. And then on top of
that's because he did that because that girl suggested it.
He could have said no. I don't think that's appropriate. He could have.
But Lawrence don't feel special though. He's a guy that wants to feel special.
But I don't think it's gonna work out with her though. She seems a little too.
She cold.
A little too brash. Yeah, a little too cold. A little too. Yeah, like whatever. And he's going to need somebody who actually cares. She don't care.
And it was revealed in earlier episodes that she had already slept with one of the coworkers there. So maybe she kind of easy.
Right to stardom, huh?
You know what I'm saying? And Lawrence is the type of character. His character is a guy who has to feel special. So if he finds out that she, I think he knows that. But like if he finds out it's like more than one, he's going to be like, all right. I'm not special. You know what I'm saying? He's going to feel exactly how he felt when the white girls, they ran through him.
That was funny. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they still love each other because the heated argument outside.
The argument was like, he definitely has reserved feelings and issues with her. There's some residual feelings there. with both of them. How the argument went.
Right. They still have deep-seated feelings for one another. And I'm like, why don't you just get over it and y'all just talk it out? But they're in that I hate you stage right now. So.
After this fight, though, with the way it worked out this season, like, when he saw her still with dude, that as a man, that puts you in a situation like, so she been fucking with him the whole time. So your whole perception of her is just it's totally distraught and distorted, I should say. And you don't look at her the same. You know what I'm saying? As a dude,
right.
You're not gonna look at her the same. Why? Because there's male ego and everything like that. You feel like you've been duped. So I don't think he gonna want to fuck with Issa like that. The way his character is set up, because his character is based on feeling special, like feeling like he is exceptional and shit. So if he feels like Issa's been fucking around the whole time in his head, if he feels like that, and he thinks that doesn't work with, you know what I'm saying, what he likes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just like, I don't understand why they're still checking up on each other. And
Yeah.
You blocked me and all this. I'm like, look.
Oh, the block me rap was so dope.
She was like, nigga, she was mad. She was mad. She was like, oh, you pressing buttons now? Like, she was so mad. Like, petty is not even the word about that. She was so mad. I feel like he needs to talk. They need to actually have a conversation, not just the rants back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the whole dinner party was crazy. You got, Molly fucking in the bathroom.
Oh my God. I feel so low for her. The interaction after, when she walked out the bathroom and Issa was right there, and she started fixing her up because she knew what happened. That's like that friend moment, like, nigga, I know what I said, that I feel like what you doing ain't shit, but I'm still going to take care of you and get your hair and get your dress put back together. And when she popped that tag off of Issa's dress.
Oh, my God. I mean, they both had that we ain't shit together moment. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like you know, like your friend that get beat up and then you got to put concealer over her face. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be all right. You know, it was like that, right? Like, I know your nigga beat your ass, but you know we gonna get through this together. You know, and then just put concealer over the eye. You know, like I got. You know, was it like that or no?
Oh no, I didn't see that one. I didn't see.
No, I'm saying, like, that's how, when I seen it, I was just like, damn, because they're both going
They was consoling each other. They was consoling each other. For
right,
sure.
Right. You know, and it wasn't even no words to be said. Like, let me go ahead and fix your bangs because you done sweated them out. And, you know, let me go ahead and, you know, get you together. It was a sad moment. It was a sad moment in history for them.
That matches that one moment after in season 1, when we go back to season 1, and they was roasting Molly. They was like, oh, so Molly, she sabotages her own life, and you know what I'm saying, on purpose. You remember that? And they was all getting
right.
And Issa stepped up for her, and Issa was trying to get back to the crib so she can meet Lawrence, and Molly just came with the keys, like that. That was that mirrored that same moment. In season 2.
It did. Like, they always have each other's back, even though they be doing some fucked up shit, you know. And like I said, it just kind of reminded me of the, you know, ooh, girl, let me put some concealer over that. It's okay.
It's going to be okay.
You know, it's going to be okay. Yeah, you know, like, it was like that. Because she know damn well, like Molly even, she even expressed her feelings to him and said, you know, you and your wife look amazing together, you know. And she kind of felt like, damn, like, you don't belong to me.
Oh, and she kept trying to get into conversations. Did you catch that? Where she was on the other end and she tried to. Oh, Tiffany moved her because she was going to sit next to Dro, and then Tiffany moved her to the other end of the table, and she was like in Dro and Candace's conversation, and she kept trying to jump in, and then she was just getting like elbowed out, like, "Nah, nigga, we ain't talking to you. Not all the way down there. We're not talking to you."
Right. Like, stay at the end. Stay at the single part of the table.
The single end of the table.
You know That's how I felt she had it set up. Like, you guys are single part over here, and here's all the married and happy people.
And then Lawrence was sitting on the end where everybody was happy with the. Oh my God, it was set up.
Yeah, I just kind of felt like, man, he pulled up the chair and stuff like he was, the 6-year-old at Thanksgiving dinner. They had to
everybody move down, dog.
How awkward is that? That's so awkward.
I was thinking that too. Like, damn, shit just got so awkward. And then, what'd you think?
Yeah.
Okay, how'd you feel about Issa's rando comment?
The shade. I mean, but she did have every right to do it. Mm-hmm. She did, because she wasn't invited. The girl was not invited. So she just kind of felt like, oh, let me go ahead and get this jab while I can. So let me go ahead and take this jab. I'm gonna throw this jab while I can.
Oh, man, I was like, damn, Issa, you ain't have to do that. Like, that's too much. Like, and the girl even said, like, in Random Girls, because she, like, real sarcastic. The Lawrence's chick, I don't remember her name. I have to look it up, but she I mean, until we see them on screen fucking, then she really her character name.
I mean, she was trying to make just make light of the situation.
Yep, trying to break
she could
ice.
tell it was tension. Right. She could tell it was tension when she first got there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have, as soon as he said, you want to leave, I would have been like, yeah. It was nice meeting all of you. I apologize and left as soon as I could, because you could tell when first of all, the whole group in itself is a close-knit friendship. They've all known each other for years. Some of them have went to college together. Some of them had, the whole group was close-knit. So for you to be coming in as an intruder, basically, they ain't trying to fuck with you. They're like...
The story of Issa's little brother alone, like him being close with everybody, that tell you how close the group is.
Right.
So...
Right. Yeah, I would have left. And I truly hope that Molly is done with that whole situation, because she's only hurting herself, because he ain't going to never leave his wife.
No, not
and
Molly.
Right, he's not going to do that. When he says we have something special too, he's talking about sex, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I need for her to know that. There's nothing more. That's anything special going on. It's just sex. So when she figured, I hope she figured that out and said, that's probably why she said, I can't do this anymore. Because he's like, well, I'm going to be in town soon. Like, all right, come on, shorty, let's get it jumping. You can jump off.
Come get these scraps.
Right. And I hope she realized, like, no, I can't do this. It's not working for me,
Oh, my.
But if she really looking for a relationship, because Molly been jumping since season 1.
But she is trying to change, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the only reason that she did this with Dro is because they have history. Like, they fucking neighbors. You know what I mean? And they've been childhood friends, so like, I think that's the only reason that she did that. But like, that didn't fit. That didn't help her cause of trying not to be a hoe anymore at all.
Right, because right. You see how awkward it was when his wife walked up and they were like standing at the bar. It was like
the looks that Issa was giving her, though.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I was like, damn, that's that only good friends can do that. Cause like, if you wasn't that good of a friend and you gave me that look, like, bro, like, hey, for real, like, hey, chill out, relax. Relax.
You know what? I honestly thought she was going to say something about it. Like when she walked over to Molly, I really thought she was going to say, So, how's things working out with my husband? Like, I thought she was going to say something. I was just like, okay,
Hey, you know
it's
what?
really awkward.
You know what?
Yeah.
What made me think that he was lying was he said, I'm gonna go out here. You just fall back for a little bit.
Hmm.
That kind
That's that classic. That's the classic cheating.
Mm-hmm.
That's that cheating mentality.
That didn't say open marriage to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because if it was open, you should be able to kiss her and hug her and everything right in front of your wife and not have an issue with it. I guess it's just maybe a level of respect. Maybe I don't know.
Definitely, but definitely respect. And I guess it would have been kind of weird at the party, but that still felt like it wasn't open marriage shit to me. But
it's not.
Yeah, I think we need to find out. I want to know, like, is he really lying? Because that needs to come out. 'Cause it can come out now that she's done fucking with him.
It might be,
but
it might come out. And who's to know? All I know is she don't need to be in that situation anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because it's not going to end anywhere. People out in America, if you're the side chick, you're going to forever be the side chick, and that's it. You're not going to. There's no relationship.
There's no upward mobility in that company.
Right. You're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
You're not going to get a raise like Molly.
Yeah, there's one paddle and one boat. You're going to keep going in circles. Like, you're not going to go anywhere. But,
man.
We'll have to see what's to come.
I see. I think we picked the bone. We picked all the meat off the bone on this episode. You think?
Yeah, definitely.
We'll
have to see what's going on next time.
Let's see. I was looking around, man. I had this question about. I was thinking, like, will we ever see the Harriet Tubman 20? Because remember, before Obama left, he was talking about putting Harriet Tubman.
Not with Trump in office.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, Trump wants to put Harriet Tubman on the back and leave Andrew Jackson on the front.
How much of an ironic twist is that? When black people always on the back of something? The back of the bus?
No. There's even deeper symbolism in that. You know what I'm saying? There's considering the fact that Andrew Jackson he raped his slaves. Like, he raped the slaves, had kids with his slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't they all?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying, like, to put her on the back, that's symbolism. That's a message in itself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right.
We're only putting you here because it's the advancement of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? We're still advancing that message. But his what is it? What's this guy's name? Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. I don't know how to say his name. I really don't care. He's probably a racist. Well, he is a racist too. He was questioned about it, and he kind of gave the "we're not focused on that right now. We'll get back to you" answer.
Right.
Ultimately, we'll be looking into this issue, but it's not something that we're focused on at the moment. So, like, even if that, I answered my own question when I read that, because what that says is we're not going to see Harriet Tubman on the 20 until after Trump's administration is out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because I was ready to, you know what I'm saying, count some Tubmans. You know,
they'll put her face on the EBT card before they put her on.
Whoa. Yo.
Before they put her
Wow.
I'm just saying. You know they don't want black folks to have nothing.
Speaking of not wanting black folks to have nothing, Joel Osteen tells
Oh
Harvey
Lord.
tells Harvey survivor, Harvey survivors not to have a victim mentality. Wow. The controversial pastor vowed God will pay back what belongs to us. Ain't that something?
I'd be like,
He
where
must have
you
been.
where
He
you
must have
hear
been talking about the donations that he got. But um,
where'd you hear that?
I I looked it up online. I can't remember the
No,
source.
I'm
Oh,
talking
you talking
about
about?
with Joe.
Oh, Joe heard that when he was cashing his. He was pulling money out of his ATM that's in his church. Uh, he heard it. The voice. It was a divine voice came to him.
What did it sound like?
It sounded like a money machine. Um, uh, Pastor Joel Osteen has been under fire for his Houston megachurch slow response to helping survivors of Hurricane Harvey. Which have you seen that on Twitter? How everybody's making the jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He said the church was not in commission. It was flooded. People came out to the area, and it wasn't flooded. Then he came back and said, "Well, the city advisors or whatever had advised him not to open it up until it was okay for him to open it up. I guess there was like flood precautions that he needed to take or whatever." So after he got roasted a couple times, like he kept coming back trying to save face or whatever, but eventually he opened his church up. Did you see the interview on CNN? He had did a press run like with a whole bunch of different outlets, and he was doing it in front of like these big ass like donation table or whatever that he had. It was like a mountain of shit that he was supposedly going to donate, but I feel like it was a green screen. It really wasn't shit there.
Right. It was like, where you at? No. All of these preachers, I ain't heard nothing from TD Jakes. They all in secure locations.
TD Jakes, he's in Dallas though. He's in Dallas, so.
I mean, still, he could still send
He
some
can
money
donate.
out.
He can definitely donate
Right.
and say something. I mean, maybe we just haven't heard. We will give him the benefit of the doubt, which I doubt. I totally doubt that he even said something. But hey, I didn't see for sure. Didn't look into it, so I believe him. And what's the lady with the white hair that gave TD Jakes a Bentley? What's her name? I can't really think of it right now. You know what I'm talking about.
I can't remember.
It don't matter. We're not going to understand everything that happens, but having a poor old me mentality or look at what I lost or why did this happen, it's just going to pull you down, he said. He said in his first sermon at Lakewood Church since the storm. Instead, he urged his followers to turn it over to God. God won't allow it unless he has a purpose for it. He said, we may not see it at the time, but that is what faith is all about. Osteen said having faith will allow God to turn situations around. He said, pass the plates around. Pass the...
Oh my God, I cannot.
No, I'm just joking.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh my God.
He said, he's got you in the palm of his hand. Oh man! Oh shit!
Okay, so okay. So are the are they at least donations to that, or the plates that he's passing the bill?
They haven't said that he's
They
actually
haven't disclosed
distributed anything. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, he about to get a new house. Passing these
I just
new
think
shoes.
that it's interesting. I can't. I think that it's interesting how so many pastors can say, "Oh, you know, God this and God that." Well, we're all serving the same God, but you still hear dry in a nice suit. So I'm wondering why, you know,
your shoes ain't got no mud on it.
Right. Because there's plenty of people that are out there.
We had to ride the boat to get here to church.
Right. You know, like still out there trying to, you know, searching cars and underwater trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as him sitting there and say, oh, you know, like, let's not be victims, let's turn it all over to God. Well, that's easy for you to say in your $1,100 tailored suit. I need you to get out there and put some type of fishing boots on and get out there and actually do some work, because it also says in the Bible that you need to put in work as well. You're not supposed to just, you're not supposed to just be out here talking about it, but you're supposed to be actually doing things.
Serving
so
the
don't,
people.
I'm not. Yeah, right. You're supposed to be serving the people, and he's not serving. Just because your mouth is opening and you read a whole bunch of words out of books, that doesn't mean anything. You're supposed to be out there showing people what God is like, not telling us what he says. Because you could tell somebody what somebody else said all day, but unless I see you actually putting in work, I'm not going to believe shit you got to say. And you could take that all the way, go ahead and mail that on to heaven, too, while you're at it. Because that don't make no damn sense. I hate when, that's retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and send that on up and see. Because that's the number one problem when it comes to
church nowadays.
To mega churches. Right, in churches in general. People want to preach about God, but they don't want to be godly. And don't do that. Don't sit there and preach to me about how I'm supposed to be living my life, how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to treat each other, but you're not putting in any work. No, nigga, you're a fraud, and you're not trusted. You're a fraud.
Oh, yes. I just wanted to get my jokes off. I knew you had some serious shit to say, so that's why I wanted to talk about it.
You said pass the plate. I know. And was the plate dry when you passed it?
Oh, it was gold. You know that gold, the gold one? You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I said. Was it dry?
Yep. Had,
oh, man.
Some, a lot of people money was wet still, but they still passed it,
Don't nobody want them damn dollars.
Oh, that's fucked up. We ain't shit.
Dollars be on mildew by the time they get to this.
Joe said he gonna make do with what God gave him. Now he gonna make do.
Yeah. Well, God bless him. I hope everything works out. Joel, if you're out there, God bless you, honey. We'll be praying for you.
We got breaking news. The Duchess of Cambridge is pregnant with her third child. Oh, you don't care? Huh? Moving on.
I mean, and we have more important things going on in our country right now than worried about, if she was getting facial.
Oh, did you get that royal facial?
She was getting that royal face.
Speaking of parenting and step parenting, you say you wanted to I was going to leave the floor open for you. And
well, I mean, right now in America, there's a lot of those good old instant grit families.
Okay.
You marry into a family that already has children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're already either the man or the woman, they already have a child. And me personally, I'm a stepmother, so I know what it's like. And there's a lot of controversy going around right now when it comes to being a step parent, and how your kids and stepchildren treat their step parents. And I just wanted to go ahead and put it out there. And I did read the article that you sent, and it was really interesting.
Okay.
Because a lot of times marriages, like when people remarry and stuff like that, and they have stepchildren, a lot of the marriages don't last because of the stepchildren. Whether it be the stepchildren not getting along with the step parent, or just having a resent that the biological parent married someone else that wasn't their mother or father.
Yeah, their mother and father aren't together anymore. Just that
Right. And then it becomes a really, really big problem right now when it comes to a lot of marriages.
Mm-hmm.
So I really feel like when it comes to stepchildren, and my suggestion would be, because there's not a lot of people right now that don't have children. You know, like, it's very rare to find someone and just marry them and don't have kids.
When you're getting into relationships. Okay, I got
you. Right. When you're getting into the relationship, that usually, especially when you're older, especially like in your 30s and stuff, somebody's going to already have a child. It's very, very rare where you're going to find somebody that don't. I would suggest that if you can find somebody that don't have one, kudos to you, because it's not easy, and it's not, and I'm not saying that I don't love, my stepson, or, that I would change anything, but I am saying that it probably would be a lot easier for a new couple coming in with no kids.
It's less to figure out.
Right. And then you have to deal with a whole other side of a family, too, and a whole other side of issues and problems that you could probably potentially avoid if you didn't have, if you didn't marry into that. There's just a lot going on when it comes to stepkids. You got stepkids that's killing stepparents, and just
what do you think? What do you think about, like, the second, or the article said, not to try to take place of the other parent?
Well, it depends, because a lot of times, in my personal case, let me shut up.
Okay, we're gonna move on. We're just gonna move on.
Let me just say this.
Okay.
Some parents ain't shit.
Okay.
Some parents.
Let's see. That's 48 minutes. And okay, go ahead.
Whether it be the father or the mother,
okay.
And you marry into. Sometimes they just ain't shit.
Okay.
And so it's not like you're trying to take the place, but sometimes it's necessary to take the place. Because, when you got kids and, you can't help it. You got step kids and stuff, and
you don't want to treat them
they ain't never got that.
You don't want to treat them
right. They ain't never got their hair properly. Right. They ain't never got their hair properly groomed, and teeth are rotten and falling out their mouths, and you can't help but to be the better parent and take on certain responsibilities that that their biological parent could never do for them. So it's not like you're trying to replace the parent, but it's a necessity to make sure that they get what they need to have to be sustainable in their life,
Okay.
So I don't think that, just like, if you remarried or whatever, or not remarried, but if you got married and, say you got married and she had a daughter or son or whatever, and their parent, you could tell that their parent ain't shit because of how the child is. How they act and react to certain situations, how they act in public, how respectful they are to their peers or to their elders, or just even the physical aspect of it, of not being able to, just shower properly, whatever the situation is. You can tell, like, okay, I need to step up because obviously
in these
they didn't
certain
have
areas, there's certain areas that she need, or this child, or he or she needs help in.
exactly. And so it's not. I don't think that people are. I don't think a lot of times that parents try to replace, but they do try to step in and try to make sure that the child has um, a, a better thing for life. They try to make sure that they're better off for the future and everything.
Okay.
So
Now, number
yeah,
two,
definitely.
spanking your stepchildren. Where, like, what how you feel about that?
I feel like if they in my house,
Mm,
I feel like if they're eating my food,
mm,
I feel like if they're breathing my air in my place,
mm,
I feel like if they're running my electricity,
mm,
they're gonna get their ass whooped.
mm.
Period. I'm not going to treat my stepkids any differently because I feel like a lot of times that's where, ooh, you got to draw the line. Like, well, that's not your child. Okay, well, it can't be both ways. You can't want to be treated like my real child sometimes
You won't be
and not
treated like
all the
my
time.
real child. You gonna get your ass whooped. Period.
Exactly,
That's how I
exactly.
feel.
So, exactly. You know, if I shouldn't have to be like, oh well, I'm gonna treat you like my child to a certain extent.
Hmm.
Absolutely not. If you're gonna be my child, you're gonna be my child, 100%. Now you're either 100% my child,
You either,
or you can be Cinderella. Which
she
one do you
said,
want?
you ain't gonna be. Are you gonna be in or you gonna be out? You ain't gonna be running in and
Right,
out.
ain't no, right. Stop slamming the screen door. You know, stop slamming the screen door. You either in or you out. So it's, that's how I feel personally about it. Because a lot of times, kids, stepchildren, they try to pull that card with me,
Oh yeah.
like, well, you're not my real mom or you're not my real dad,
Uh,
and it's like, what do your mother or father do for you really? You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm.
hmm, what do they do for you really?
Okay, all right.
Because
Say you in this situation, which this is totally hypothetical. I know some people don't like hypotheticals, but I love them.
okay,
The mother doesn't whoop the child, and it's
mhm,
you, and you married in, and you got the child that don't get whooped, but you whoop your
mhm,
kids. You know what I'm saying?
mhm, right.
What do you do then?
You said, okay, so run that back. So I
Okay.
don't whoop my kids, but I whoop the stepchild.
No, no, you
Is
whoop
that what
your
you're saying?
kids.
Oh,
You
you're
whoop
saying,
your kids, but your stepchild comes
okay.
from a household that where the mother didn't whoop the kids.
Oh, no, y'all got to have that conversation straight on.
Okay.
Woman to woman, man to man. You got to let them know, if your child is coming in this household and we're married and he,
This is an
and,
ass
and,
whooping
and he or
household.
she is coming, yes, yes, we will be laying out the belt. And if you do not like that,
Mm.
then you need to keep him where he's at or keep her where she's at,
If you
period.
don't like that, you can get your ass whooped too.
Right. Right. You need to keep your child wherever they're at, because if they come here,
Mm.
there will be rules and regulations. And if they don't abide by the rules and regulations, that genuine is coming out. That
Mm.
100% genuine is
Mm.
coming out. That leather is coming out. And y'all need to have that established from day one.
Mm.
Because, just like I said, with some stepchildren, they feel like they can pull certain cards and they can try to get away with certain
Right.
situations.
Right.
And it's like, no, bro. If you get if everybody else got to get a switch, you got to get one too. Go on and pick one. Like
Now you get out there and
no,
get that switch.
yeah, right. Go get that switch off that. You ain't special.
Hmm.
Nope. You know, yeah, for real.
Let's
I
see.
feel like you got to have the talk.
Hmm.
You
Assuming a
got to have the
position,
talk.
assuming a position of authority over the young child. So
Mhm.
I'm guessing like when the parent isn't there,
Mhm. What
or
like
or
to?
do they mean that by like talking? Well, then that would mean you were getting out of your place though. If you young children under the age of 5 or 6 may be more willing to accept a step parent's authority in a new family, but school-age children and teenagers will often rebuff a step parent's attempts to
Yeah.
automates authority.
Right. And I think, and that's where the resentment comes in, where they feel like, well, mom and dad got divorced or whatever because of whatever reason, and you didn't stay married to my mom, or you never married my mom, or you didn't stay married to my dad and never married my dad. So now I'm going to be resentful towards whoever you marry because they're not my mom or dad.
Right.
You understand? So it's almost like I don't care because you're not my real parent.
I'm gonna buck against whatever.
Right. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do and however I want to do it, especially when a child is older and set in their ways. But still, I've seen children be raised by step parents, from 3 and 4 years old, and still have nasty attitudes towards their step parents, and still act like. And I'm like, how do you do that? But like they say,
the other parent has a lot to do with it. If they're still involved in what they could be saying, when they are with the other parent, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That plays into it too. So they could be like, your stepmama ain't shit. Your dad ain't. You know what I'm saying? Your dad was cheating on me to get with her. Any type of shit.
Right. Right. I feel like this, little stepchildren of America. If your stepmother, stepfather is doing for you in ways that your biological mother or father could never do and never have done for you, shut the fuck up and say thank you and enjoy the ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, be humble and sit down. And I'm just saying, hey, little stepkids, and I feel like even the biological mothers and fathers need to be like, you know what, you are a good dude, or you know what, you're a good woman for that, because I personally couldn't do that for my child. So you know what, me being a grown woman or a grown man,
and realizing that it's not a competition.
Right, exactly. Realize that there's certain things that, you might not be able to do that they might be able to do, and just say thank you and keep it pushing. There's no need for anything to be hostile. There's no need for name calling. There's no need for anything petty. Because at the end of the day, you're just going to hurt the child.
Ooh.
You're just going to hurt the child.
Ooh,
you're just going to hurt the child.
Ooh, this next one's good. Okay, the solution for that, for the assuming a position of authority, is said to proceed slowly, not as a disciplinarian, but as a supportive friend to the child and a supportive resource to your partner. Okay.
Oh no, white person wrote that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know damn well black people ain't friends with their kids.
I ain't one of your little friends.
Right. I ain't one of your friends off the street. Look.
Let's see.
Damn well we can't be friends with our kids. Come on now.
Number 4, getting involved in parenting discussions between your partner and the ex. What do you think? Where do you stand?
Getting involved in parenting discussions.
Yeah.
It depends on the parent, because
in the situation. If you're married, I think you have a leg to stand on in a conversation. But if you're not married, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not married to them, you know what I mean? That you're really technically not a step parent. But like, if you're not married, if y'all are not a union, then you kind of don't have a leg to stand on. In those two discussions.
Yet and still, some people don't even respect the marriage. Like some like if you had your daughter's mom or whatever, and you remarried or whatever, she would still look at it and be like, well, I didn't have kids with your wife. I'm talking to you, and just would not even see the bigger picture involved. You know, wouldn't respect the marriage and respect the union, and being like, hey, that's my wife. We're raising our daughters together, so you need to respect her too. And that's where a lot of times that the stepchildren have to feel like they're put in the middle, because now you have a mom or dad that's not respecting the spouse. Right. And if they're not going to respect the spouse, the child certainly is not going to respect the spouse.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And that's where everything goes to hell in a handbasket because it's like, nigga, I'm doing, you know, we're doing, we're trying to make everything happen together, and here you are still being petty about some shit that happened 10 to 12 years ago and letting it fester. And it's like, we're trying to raise this child together, all as co-parents, as a unit. And you know, you got the petty baby mom or the petty baby dad that won't let shit that happened in 1984 go, and still, right, you know, and that's all that's doing is just rubbing off negative energy onto the child. And of course, the child is gonna end up resenting the step parent and treating the step parent like the biological does.
Oh,
you
look
know?
at this. Look at this one. This one definitely white. Look at this. Number 5. Getting involved in arguments between your stepchild and your spouse. Black people don't have arguments with their children.
We don't. We don't. There's no argument about it. You know.
I said.
Yeah. Right. The only thing that black people do is repeat. That's the only, and you only get about 2 of them before you gonna see them hands. You only get about two repeats before you see them hands. And you gonna see them hands. They gotta repeat themselves more than 2 or 3 times. Shit. That's like, what we don't do. We do not argue.
Arguments.
That's not gonna happen.
I know one thing. You better shut the. You better shut up.
Right. Especially not with stepchildren. I mean, I hate to say it, but you are a stepchild. You can get the fuck out of my house. Oh. That's when the realness.
You want to argue with your daddy, huh? You and your daddy can get up like, damn.
Right. I mean, you know, that's when the realness comes out. Like when it starts to get, you know, to the point where the stepchildren want to start pushing boundaries and testing and all this and that. I didn't push you out. You can go. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's when people's feelings get hurt. It's because it's like, oh, well, I thought I was your real child this whole time, but now since we get in an argument, now it's, you know, get out. Now it's this and that.
Right.
But a lot of times stepchildren push their step-parents that far. And that's why stepchildren don't really necessarily get along with their step-parents, because they feel entitled. They feel like, you know, it's all about me all the time, because they have that connection with either their mom or dad, where they can pull that energy. And it's like, listen, that's why, like I said in the beginning, a lot of divorces come because of stepchildren. Right. A lot of divorces come because of stepkids. Yep. A lot of the time. Because, you know, they pull that energy, and it's hard for anybody to choose a loved one over your child. You know, if you're in love with someone or whatever, and you know you have kids and stuff, and you could be with her for years or whatever, but if you're not getting along, if you're not getting along with your child, of course you're going to choose your child first and say, you know what, this shit ain't working. You know, I can't. I love you, but I'm not gonna put myself in a predicament where I'm choosing you over my kids. You know,
ever.
Yeah, right. So, like I said, a lot of divorces come from stepkids. So, stepchildren of America, like I said, be happy that you have somebody in your corner. Now, I'm not saying it's just like, you know, if it's the evil stepmother or whatever, and they treat you like Cinderella. Okay, you know, that's something understandable. But if you have somebody there that's willing to help you through certain situations, be by your side, take care of you emotionally, physically, anything that you need, they're there for you. Take it for what it is and be happy about it. Right. You know, take it for what it is, be happy about it, and say thank you. And tell, you know, your little raggedy daddy or mommy to say thank you as well. I'm just saying. A lot of people don't like to take things into consideration. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you. Number 6. Ignoring or countering the wishes of the ex. So I don't want little JoJo to have red Kool-Aid or whatever. You know, shit like that.
Mhm.
Or we don't do,
Well,
we don't, we are just, we like to
is
gluten
this a
free at this house or some
right?
shit. I don't know.
Is this a co-parent situation, or is this like
Hmm.
it depends? Because if it's like you just see the stepchild on the weekends, it's like whatever. But if you're living, if it's a stepchild situation where they're actually living with the step parent and
The
the
real, yeah,
biological
okay,
mother
yeah,
or whatever
biological.
biological father, um, if we so happen, and the biological mother or father or whatever is vegan or something, and they don't want their child to eat meat or something like that, or whatever. And we so happen to go out for Popeyes. This is my house. You know, I'm gonna
Nigga,
get what
what
I
the?
want. I'm gonna get what I want for my kids in my house. Now, if
Do
you
you
want the motherfucker to eat vegan,
you
you better
bring
send the box
you
over.
even you said you better pack some vegan meals.
Right, you better package some shit up and send it over because I don't think that step parents cater to. We're not gonna play the catering game. Like, no, nigga,
Oh
no.
my
Like,
god.
I don't think that that's realistic. Do you? Like, do you?
I mean, if you
I don't
if
think that
okay,
that's realistic. Like,
if we had to sit down and you're like, hey man, I don't want her to have X Y Z, or I don't want him to have X Y and Z because I believe this and this, or the health factors, this what this does to children or whatever. If you break it down to me, and you know what I'm saying, and I see your point, I'm like, okay, cool, I got you. You know what I'm saying? That's how
right.
that's how I would be. But like, if you just saying like, I don't want him to wear Nikes. You know what I'm saying? Some stupid shit like that. You know what I mean? Like if you
Well, bitch,
some stupid
Nike
shit
was
like
on
that. You know what
sale.
I mean?
He getting them.
Yeah.
He getting them. They was on sale.
Hmm.
I mean, no, I understand what you're saying. Like, if it's moral, something morally,
Yeah.
um, wrong or something like that, and they're like, or something that is within their culture where they're like, I don't, she's supposed to wear her hijab or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Right.
you
Right.
just,
There you go.
and then you go and throw track in her hair, or whatever,
Uh huh.
like that's wrong. But if it's something as simple as, like you said, something as simple as like Nike. Oh, I don't want him wearing Nikes, or I don't want him wearing Jordans because
Right.
Michael Jordan didn't
X
donate
Y
to
Z
to
or
the
whatever.
Harvey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right, I'll be like, look, Jordans are on sale right now, and unless you're trying to kick out some money, you need to just hush. Because I'm not, I guess it just depends on what it is,
Hmm.
and like I said, it also depends on how long the person is there, because when you have total custody of a child or something like that, that's different than like just like weekend visits and stuff.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
It is because nobody is gonna change their whole livelihood and the way that they live because one person comes to stay with them. Period. They're not gonna do it. I don't care how, like you said, he's not allowed to drink red Kool-Aid. Well, if everybody in my house been drinking red Kool-Aid for years, bitch, what makes you think I'm gonna change drinking red Kool-Aid because this motherfucker showed up? Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, it's water in there. You can drink water, but we gonna drink this red Kool-Aid.
Oh my God! Melani J in the building, man. Melani J in the building.
Pass the sugar. I'm just playing.
Oh man. Number 7. This is a good one.
Hmm.
Bad mouthing the ex
Man,
in front of the children
God, I do all the time. Oh, I do all the time. No, you know what?
You can't do that. No.
I feel like when it comes to that, it's two sided. Like, eventually somebody's got to be the bigger person. Now, if somebody can't be the bigger person, then of course it's going to continue to go back and forth
Mm.
because you know You know, how many times can you be bigger person though, and be like, all right, you know, let me not say anything, this and this and that, because some people just take full advantage of what you do and how you do things for children,
Right.
and they try to take advantage, and then that's when it's like, oh, now we have a situation where people feel, you know, you get in your feelings, you know, you get in your feelings, and then it starts to become a battle. But you know, yeah, whatever. You if you're a bad mom, I'm gonna tell you you're a bad mom, or if you're a bad dad, I'm gonna tell you you're a bad dad.
Okay, this is
with
where
no filter.
this is where how I feel about it. You can say that, but don't say that to the children or around the children. And you good.
I mean, I feel like
and you good.
The children already know.
But you don't need to say that.
You know? Like,
you don't need to say that.
I feel like the kids know when they ain't got a good dad or they ain't got a good mom. But they know that already.
But no, they don't. No, they don't. A child does
not
know that. They don't know that.
How?
They don't. Because you know why?
And you got cardboard in your shoes.
But do you know
that
a child doesn't see that material? Okay, you can have buddies on. They don't care. They just like, oh, my shoes light up. I like these. You know what I'm saying? Or a child say, I'm with my mom. I love my mom. I love my dad. That's all they know. They don't know that. It's like when they say you don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that type
but they
of situation.
know. I can guarantee you, when a child is small all the way up until they graduate high school, they know when their parents ain't shit, when their parents ain't shit, and when they don't have shit. They know. And it's not anything new to them. They know. You know, you know damn well when your mom or your dad is struggling, or when your mom or dad ain't doing what they're supposed to do. When you halfway blind going to school because you ain't got no glasses. You know, like they know. I mean, it's not nothing that is hidden. I don't think from kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that anything is hidden from a child. You know,
you can say that. You can say that, but that's on them. That's on them to know that.
You can afford. I'm just saying, you can afford to smoke a blunt every day, but you can't afford no oodles and noodles. Like, kids can pick up on certain things. They know when their parents ain't shit, you know, but they know. Like, well, Mom, how you have money for that dime bag, but you didn't have money to, you know, enroll me. You didn't have money to, you know, go and get some hamburger helper tonight for dinner.
See, that's so extreme, but I get what you're saying, but, like, it's still, you don't need to say that around the children.
It's real.
I understand. I understand, but you can't say that around the children. You can't say that around the children. That does more. That does you bad mouthing the ex around the children does more damage to the children than it does than you getting at the ex. Or you saying or what's on your mind at the time.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's why I say it's a no go. It's a no go on that. But let's see, number 8. Ooh, okay. Oh shit. Damn. Pressuring your new partner to always put you first, or seeing your stepchild's needs for one-on-one time with his parent as a threat to your marriage.
That's whack. I don't think that's stupid. Why would you feel threatened? Right, like, why would you feel threatened? Like, they're supposed to have a good relationship with their child. I don't feel like you should come in between that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't feel like you should come in between a father or a mother and their children. I don't think.
Does that wait? Does it? Maybe I read it wrong. Like, maybe I'm reading into it wrong. Does that mean if your husband or wife being having one-on-one time with their children, or do they mean the ex having one-on-one time?
Well,
it didn't say the ex. It's the parent. So say, like, you know, me having one-on-one time with my daughter, like my ex, not my ex, but my wife shouldn't feel threatened by that. Of course not.
That's stupid.
That's the thing.
I mean, yeah, right. I mean, I guess some people would be insecure, when it comes to that, because but that's dumb though. I feel um, that's a no-brainer. You're supposed to have one-on-one time with your kids. You're supposed to have that, especially if you're a step parent. I mean, you're coming into the relationship with the child already there. That should already be established.
Right.
So what? You trying to ruin the relationship? That's what it sounds like. You can't be ruining relationships all willy nilly. It don't work that way. Not with kids and step parents. I don't think that's the way it should go.
Oh, we got through that.
But
shout out to us.
Yeah, we got on through it. I mean, it's hard out here.
I don't think that's really not pertinent to this
I
conversation. I don't want to talk about that.
What's the closing statement then? Just for that. What in your mind? What is the closing statement for that?
Oh man, love. Love is probably gonna guide you through.
I hate you so much.
I'm serious. This is serious. Why? Because they teach you love is kindness, is patience, is empathy. You know what I'm saying? It's all of those things. That's the only thing that's gonna get you through. Taking care of other people's children, man. For real.
You know what's really gonna get you taking care of other people's kids?
What's that?
That 18th birthday. Just wait it out. I mean, you ain't gotta worry about you ain't gotta worry about their ass. Like, ooh, get a tattoo and just be like, ooh, I only got 13 more years until this motherfucker turns. All you gotta do is wait it out. You and your husband or you and your wife will have a glorious, glorious marriage after that. Just go on and wait for it. Wait for it to end.
So you said don't even get married until
in there,
after.
people.
If you ain't married now, don't get married until all your kids grow. Everybody kids.
Yeah, right. Hang in there. Y'all can get through it. Y'all can get through it. Wait till that motherfucker turn 18, and y'all will be good to go. You ain't got to worry about the baby daddy or baby mama no more. You ain't got to worry about the child. Bye. That's what I say. That's what's gonna get you through it. that birthday.
Okay. All right, man. I think that's everything. I got more.
That's why you see all the step parents always be throwing them big birthday parties at the big graduation parties for their step.
The graduation party.
They can't wait to get there.
That's the going away party. You just don't know it.
Yeah, that's what that is. Like, oh, she's a good stepmom. She done went and threw this big party for him for his graduation, girl. She can't wait to get his ass out of the house. Hurry up. You ain't even got to come back to the house.
He leave the party. He leave the party and he come home, his bags packed at the doors.
That's what I said. You ain't even got to come back to the house. Just sit back in the trunk.
That's fucked up. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't have nothing else. I'm gonna keep it at that. I got a bunch of other articles, but yeah, you know how we do. We'll keep it short. We'll keep it short.
Yeah, this week we'll keep it short.
That's all we got. Oh yeah, the iTunes. We're on iTunes. SoundCloud for however long SoundCloud is up, Podomatic, Podbean, Stitcher. You can find us on any and every podcast format, literally. So check us out. You probably are checking us out on something now, but make sure you do that. Twitter, mine is at Bren'Telligence. Snapchat at Bren'Telligence. We have I Can't Afford to Quit podcast group where you can get in and chime in. You have to be accepted.
Yes,
so
it does.
Let us know that you do listen to the podcast and you will be added to the group and you will be added to the conversations. Oh yeah, 5-star reviews. You can't leave multiple 5-star reviews on iTunes. It would just refresh what you have, what you have already posted. So, if you
Mhm.
haven't done that, we need you to put in on it. You know what I'm saying? This podcast is free. You know what I'm saying? So we
I know
need y'all
that's
to
right.
pay with them 5-star reviews. And we will read your
So
5-star reviews on the show too. Um, do you have anything else?
I don't think that I do.
Okay. Well,
No, I don't think I do. We got to talk about power the next time, though.
oh yeah, for sure,
Definitely.
for sure. This
Yeah,
episode was
for
crazy.
sure.
Episode was
Yeah.
crazy. We got to definitely talk about that. Until next episode. Hey, 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 hey. Podcast every day.